Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, Unemployment Thursday. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Ken. I'll give you my thoughts on where the markets are. Good morning, Chris. But overall, I'd be waiting for a pattern. We've already had the pullback, so you've had the little bounce in the SQQQ. This secondary reaction is going to tell us a lot whether we get a more significant topping pattern. Uh, Trying a different calendar out. So let me know what you think. This is using the one from investing.com. So we had an initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims out at 7:30. Initial jobless claims coming in uh, a little higher than expected. Continuing jobless claims, let me just jump to this other one real quick. Continuous jobless claims coming in a bit better than forecast. So that's where that sits. We do have potential double bottom patterns in the futures. So I am keeping an eye on that. And we have met some pullback criteria. Hey, Rich, good morning. Yeah, the dollar index also has a potential double bottom. So, what else we have at 9 a.m.? We have Powell's continuing testimony. We have Mester speaking. We have the crude numbers at 10 Central, and that's really about it, unless I put on some of the other lower information data. The lower information data, which we shall see if that updates anything else. And I don't know why they didn't have continuing jobless claims on. There it is. They consider that lower, but again, better than forecast right there. Other than that, we have all our crude numbers out at 10, as I mentioned. We have the Kansas City Fed Manufacturing and Composite Index at 10 also. Still forecast to be in contraction. The only thing I'm watching on this is expansion versus contraction, or if it has a big miss, like a minus 20, that will be very telling also. So we're getting most of the data out early this morning. So far, Tesla continuing its pullback, big reversal. There's pretty heavy selling in there yesterday. I'm wondering what was actually selling so much, and I'll go over that too. Not much. Everything's pretty negative as last time I refreshed it. Utilities up just a bit, but everything besides utilities is negative. Energy with the pullback in crude leading to a downside. Fed watch, we're still at about 72% for a hike in July, and the hike, pause, and one cut in January. It's where it sits. Fear and greed, even with this pullback, still in extreme greed. So this hasn't even taken us out of extreme greed. The gamma information and the gamma flip right now, we're trading. I've talked about this 4,400. We're trading right now there. 43.94 is gamma flip. So we're pretty much at neutral gamma here. If we do start any bigger sell-off, it goes pretty quickly into negative gamma. But you see 4,400 is both your put and call gamma. So that's the major strike price I'm still paying attention to. And we're still trading around there right now. In terms of earnings, nothing really today. You had Accenture, but nothing going on that's even going to be remotely market moving. Hey, Charles. Good morning, John. Hey, Amit. Good to see you too. So, it could be Elon's. All right, here's what I'm keeping an eye on, because overall, we've had so far to today is still ongoing, but we've had a 3-day pullback. We haven't had a 3-day pullback until we had that 4-day pullback at the beginning of May. I'm starting to watch. We've pulled into the rotation zone. Here's what I'm keeping an eye on. This is a confirmed but not triggered. I'm watching for a 1-hour close above 44.04. That would trigger a little mini double bottom. That could take us potentially back to 414, 409, 4409, 4412, and 4414 are roughly the key things. That could start a little bounce pattern. See, we got cycles to the bottom on the 4-hour. We're getting oversold. We got cycles getting to a bottoming area on the daily. So if we do break the pre-market lows and this turns into a triple bottom, same levels as yesterday, this 43.85, and then there isn't much. There isn't much. Here's how I'm looking at also if we did break down. I'm more watching for this bottoming pattern because it's already confirmed. But if we did break down below this 43.84 to 43.80 area, the next major or the next minor levels I'd be using if we got lots of selling pressure, not expecting that, but always have to prep for both sides, is 43.70 and 43.56, and then next key level is 43.32. However, as I said before, I am watching for at least a bounce. Now, this is just a very small double. If we got stronger or we got momentum going into the upside, the next key levels would be 44.18, then 44.30. And you see how those line up nicely, the 25% retracement harmonic with this little bottoming candle formation right there. The little top area from yesterday afternoon at this 44.30. So those harmonics are lighting up, and then going in, if we do continue through today into tomorrow, 44.43 and 44.56 are the key levels. Good morning, Anissa. We'll see if we can take a look at Google. So that's exactly what I'm watching. By the way, there will not be a live stream tomorrow morning, so that's why I'm going over the levels today. But that should key you in the bottom of that rotation zone on the daily is 43.32. And coming in there is where the weekly rotation zone is coming in. And you see, we have not even broken below last week's lows. So this is just a very minor pullback so far. When I talk about secondary reaction, what I'm talking about is once whether it happens today, tomorrow, we start putting in a little bottom, how strong the bounce is going to tell us a lot whether we're going to put in a more significant topping pattern. The NASDAQ, real quick. Again, this is not confirmed. This didn't trade above 15.024. Came pretty close. I think it came to 15.023.75. But close above 15.024 on a 1 hour basis does trigger with a potential bounce to 15,078. Same thing against a very key support level. You see these lows running down back from last week. So this is what I'm watching for. Same difference using the harmonics above there, 15,100, 15,160. And on a continued stronger bounce, 15,225. And if we do form a triple and break down, I will continue to drag down those levels. And also the reverse harmonics, I go to this point right here. So if we broke down 14,899, so 14,900, and then 14,836. Then on the daily basis, the bottom of the rotation zone is coming in right before the potential gap fill. 14,690 to 14,700 is your major support level. Getting to daily cycle bottoms also is why I'm starting to watch for a bounce. Now, overall, we have weekly topping areas, but that's why I'm watching. Hey, let's see if we get this bounce, how strong the bounce is, and then if it sets up a bigger weekly rollover pattern. Ken asked about the SQQ. Again, you don't have a super strong bottom pattern. What I would be watching for is come up to the daily rotation zone. So anywhere in here, that's why I'm watching for if watching the SQQQs, which is the ultra shorts. So it trades inverse. So I'd be watching for some kind of pullback over the next couple days. That the secondary direction for this would be a pullback move, and that would potentially set up a stronger bottoming pattern. So just the inverse to the NASDAQ. All right, this is not This is just, unless you were already long this, I would not be rushing in to get long it now. I'd be watching for a key pullback and a stronger pattern to see if that sets up. The Dow also has a potential double bottom, needs to close above 34,195. That could take us to 34,284. Again, the Dow's overall still in a consolidation area and coming back against a major support area. So I'm watching to see if this does hold. The Russell, interesting enough, remember watching for a 4-hour close to trigger the potential double top. No 4-hour close yet. No 4-hour close below 1876. So that has not triggered. It's confirmed multiple times, but not triggered. So this could technically, we could still bounce. Is there a mini double pattern? Not really. So if we do head lower, the thing I'm watching, if we do head lower, would be the Russell. But if for a bounce, S&P and NASDAQ are the two major ones I'm watching if we do trigger that bounce. VIX, still sitting 1385. Again, unless we start popping above 15, not real interested. DAX also starting to watch for the bottoming pattern in the DAX and then the secondary reaction unless we close below 15,995. Notes are just a mess. 10-2s continuing to, this is the key bottoming zone, but no reversal pattern yet. Rich brought up dollar index. We're trading against some very key support. We do have a potential lower low, or we have a lower low, and we have a higher low, so we have a potential divergence, and we have a potential on a daily close back above 102.33. We do have a, that would trigger a minor double bottom pattern. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on with the dollar index. Crude, pretty strong reversal, but still in consolidation, so not much unless you're micro trading that. Gold, breaking down, coming into this 1928 area, and yesterday's lows, which is the first minor area, and then this about 1913 to 1919 is another key support area. We close below 1913. I start watching for the retest of the 200, and it's still a gap left behind back from early or mid-March. Yen, not much up here. We're trading against a very key resistance area, and we have not closed above that 62.5 yet, so that's the only thing I'm watching there. Euro does not have a double top. This extended too far. So, but pound. Pound does have a potential double top. That would need, and these again, these are against the rotation zones, just like the dollar index is against the rotation zones, so they fall in the lower probability, slightly lower probability camp. This would need a close below 126.90 to trigger. Could take us back to 125.33. Bitcoin, still trading at the upper end after going on a tear for 2 days. There was a ton of wash trading. This was not an organic move. Keep that in mind. The Qs, IWM, still a long way off from potentially triggering the double top, but rolling over pretty significant yesterday. Tesla, fair amount of selling and outside key reversal day. Still now pulling back into the daily rotation zone. I am watching key support come in about 248.50 to 250. That's my first key support zone. Then I'll be watching for a potential secondary bounce. There is not a pattern. This could potentially set up at topping Head and Shoulders, but we'll have to see. If we break below 244, then it's the play to the gap fill, which would be to 234.86. By the way, NVIDIA, still holding the rotation zone. Remember, this is overextended from the double top. But one other thing, AMD Yesterday did trigger a double top, so on any rally in AMD, I'll be watching for another rollover play. AMD has put in, you can see it here, confirmed and triggered double top, and you still have a gap down here right at the 50-day, which would be which is right around the first target and a major magnet price. So keep that in mind too. Spiders. The spiders 433.80. First thing would be the gap fill on any rally. Remember, if that double triggers in the S&P or NASDAQ, I'd be watching for the gap fill play to 434.94 here. Other than that, your very key support area 429.50 to 430.50. There is not much other than right now it's trading at some very key support back from the close at June 12th and the low from June 14th. So if it does break lower, those levels become resistance. And those levels roughly is about 433.80. So if we head down with any momentum, 438.80 becomes resistance. Right now it's slightly below there, but I wouldn't worry about it being major resistance just yet. I'd judge it into the open. And if we hold above that, that level comes key support. The Qs, again, the gap down. So on any rally, 361.90. 360 is your key support. That's the close area back from the 12th of June and these two low areas. So 360. We break below that. Major supports coming in at about 355 to 357. If it does put in a bottoming pattern, I'll be using your reverse harmonics, whatever the low is today, and then use for watching some of these harmonics, especially the 50% to 62.5 on any bounce play. Google, this was not a key double. It's a very, very, very sloppy, horrible, forced head and shoulders, but it does have the lowest close since May 24th. So this looks like it's trying to pull back more so into the rotation. Is also close below the daily rotation zone. But the next key support level is about 117.50. 117.50 also takes it into the weekly rotation zone. Good morning, options 22. So that's pretty much it. Yes, NASDAQ is close to the daily rotation zone. It's in the daily rotation zone, which is also why I'm watching for a bounce play materializing, whether these doubles trigger or not this morning. I'll be watching over the next couple days for some kind of bounce. With daily cycles at the bottom. Again, we're at a very key juncture, because I talk about every so often, I talk about there's times to watch for the secondary reactions, and whether that happens today, tomorrow, the strength of the bounce will possibly be setting up some more topping areas for a bigger intermediate term top. We'll just have to see how strong the dip buyers come in. Yes, waiting for a secondary reaction is very key. That is a key point, that if you're trying to, too many people try to front run things or come in things too late. Wait for those secondary reactions. Learn to analyze, especially after key. Look, we had the minor pullback, then we had a major tear up. This is the first multi-day pullback. 3 days. Look at the NASDAQ. It has not had a consecutive 3-day pullback besides early May. This is the first. We'll see if today ends up red or green, but this is the first 3-day pullback. So this is going to be for dip buyers. We're going to see what they do. Thoughts on Powell? He pretty much covered everything yesterday. I doubt there's going to be much change today from Powell. I really doubt it. unless there's any more comments on, we had some inflation, unemployment numbers coming out this morning, but yesterday was the bigger day of testimony. I think he was pretty clear that, the July meetings live, they're considering, yeah, hiking again. So they've definitely stressed that that is on the table. And the markets, we had some selling off yesterday, but we'll have to see how this ends up today. Again, just a quick recap before I head into the open. Still keeping an eye, since this is confirmed, this didn't take it into a triple, but it's not triggered. I'm still watching for these to trigger into the open. Other than that, that's about it. Again, no live stream tomorrow. So I will see everybody again next week. Have a fantastic rest of your trading week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.